Hi there, it's Mindy from Meatless Mondays, and today we will be making fajitas. Now, fajitas are an easy, inexpensive dish to make, and the wonderful part about them is you can make them with pretty much whatever you have in your refrigerator right now. Ooh, let me turn that down. So as you can see over here, I've started some rice because I like fajitas with rice. But what you're going to need is oregano, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, and paprika. You're going to be using half a teaspoon of all of those spices, which I've pre-mixed in here. Now for the fajitas, you can use pretty much any vegetable that you have. Tonight I'll be using, and typically, there's bell peppers and onions involved. I'll also be adding in broccoli and a potato tonight. You could also put in, let's see, corn, mushrooms, poblano peppers, anything else you'd have. So what we're going to do first, if you're going to be having any sides, is you're going to start them, because the fajitas are probably only going to take maybe 10 to 15 minutes to cook. It's a really good idea if you have a cast iron pan to cook your fajitas in there. It's nice, thick, even heat, and it will give the nice charred edge. So I'm going to start by, I rinsed off my potato. I'm just going to chop it up into some bites. Just get all of the things ready. Throw everything into a bowl. And while the fajitas, while the veggies are cooking, we'll make some guacamole too, because, well, I'm a big fan and I like it. So, with the peppers, I've already taken the top off, and well, most of the seeds. You kind of want uniform strips. I usually like to go about, I don't know, what is this, half an inch wide, just because then they're going to cook nice and evenly. Going with my onion here, chop off the nubbin. I think we'll use half of this. It's kind of a big onion. There's try to leave a little root on. It seems like that way any leftover onion stays fresher. Got my little garbage bowl here. A lot of times I save the onion or leek pieces for to make veggie broth, but I probably have 3 bags of vegetable scraps in the freezer right now that I just haven't turned into broth yet, so I need to stop doing that until I make it. So I'm going to cut the onions into 1 inch, or excuse me, half-inch pieces, about 2, like I said again, just to keep everything cooking nice and consistently. Break up the onion pieces into the bowl. Oh, I suppose I could have started a timer for that rice, but we can guess. We'll figure that out. So, once I get these in there, we're going to cut up the last of the peppers. Ooh, the onion just hit. Ooh, that was just really fun. It's funny because I was thinking, since I hadn't started tearing up yet, that maybe it wasn't too strong of an onion, but here we are, it's happening. Alright. Wow. I've heard if you put your onions in the freezer prior to cutting them, that can help reduce the crying effect. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it though, but man, am I wishing I would have right now. Whew. I'm actually going to get a container for that other half. Maybe that'll help. Okay, hopefully that helps. So you're probably watching this and it's almost Thanksgiving time, so I know this Thanksgiving is going to look different for people, but I hope you guys, get to enjoy it. Have some nice time for yourself and enjoy some good food. I think we'll do one more video, before Thanksgiving, and maybe we'll do something casserole-ish, something that you could take with to a Thanksgiving dinner. What I'm going to do now is heat up the cast iron. Come on. We're going to cook it on a medium-high heat, and we're going to add in olive oil. Sorry, there's a dog under my feet here. They're very hopeful that I'll drop something. All right, so with the broccoli, I like to throw broccoli in, but you gotta keep in mind this is going to be going into a tortilla, so you kind of do have to chop it up into smaller bits. Otherwise, it just won't roll in. Now, fajitas are great for leftovers too. Back when we used to go out to dinner and we went to Mexican restaurants, I would always get fajitas, and I would end up usually building one or two there, and then I would take the rest home for lunch the next day. Even if there's just a few vegetables, it's great on a salad. It's great just over some rice. It's such a good leftover to have. All right, so chop this piece down a little bit more. So we have our bowl full of vegetables. We've got the oil heating. It's getting nice and hot. Gives us spoon ready. We can stir everything up. Now, these are going to look like they're overwhelming the pan at first, but they will cook down, okay? I guess I really could maybe use a bigger cast iron, but this is what we're working with, so we'll make it work. So I'm going to take my seasoning and start to sprinkle it over the vegetables. I'll reserve a little bit for when it cooks down, and then I'll add that back in. But for right now, we'll put a nice thick coating on these. All right, so while these are cooking, we will get our guac ready. Let's get it going into a bowl and a fork. And we're just gonna cut your avocados in half. These ones are nice and soft. I've taken to buying bags of avocados lately. What I've realized is usually they're ready at two completely different times of the week. So if I get a bag of 5 or 6, half are ready to use at the beginning of the week and the other half are ready to use at the end, which for me works great. Guacamole is easy. It's pretty much just smashed avocados, right, with some seasonings. You can put tomatoes in it if you'd like, onions in it if you'd like. I don't prefer it with those, so I just don't. What I like to put in is garlic, cumin, salt, pepper, and I've actually started putting this in there, Old Bay seasoning. It's got some good flavor, I think. We'll have to just stir this up a little bit more in the beginning because, like I said, the pan is just a little too full. I guess I overshot how many vegetables I put in here. But that's okay. They'll cook down, they'll get a nice char, it'll be great. Oh yeah, a little guacamole in here, a little avocado with that off. So, I'm going to start by just adding some of the Old Bay seasoning. Now, with the guac, it's kind of a hit and a miss, or a taste as you go along, because some people like it spicy, some people don't. Sometimes it depends on the size of your avocados too, so just kind of wing it. And you know, being the guac taste tester is not a bad thing. So, a little bit, it's almost done. You can also put jalapenos in there too, the guac or in the fajitas. I know usually we have jarred jalapenos around the house. We like to use those. They're not as spicy or hot, you know, if you have kids in the house, but they have a really good flavor to them. So we're going to cook the vegetables for about 10 to 15 minutes. If you like them crisper, a few minutes less. I have a feeling we're going to be closer on the side of 15 minutes, just because, well, the pan's a little too packed. So you just take your fork and smash up the avocado with everything in it, with the seasonings. You can also add in lime or lemon if you have any. It's usually a good flavor to have. I'm going to add black beans into the rice. Just take a strainer, open the pan over the sink and rinse them out before I dump them in. If you need to when you're cooking too, you can always add more olive oil or anything that you might need to keep those veggies cooking down. So we've got the guac ready. I will clean these things up. Kind of made a mess tonight. Some other sides you can include would be cheese if you like. Refried beans are a good option. Sour cream, salsa, any sort of hot sauce. They're all really good options to add in. I'll get all of our plates ready. Get out the tortillas. I prefer flour tortillas, so that's what we'll be having. Let's see how these are cooking. Well, the bottom ones are getting a really nice char, so slowly but surely it's working. They're an onion. The dog will be happy. You also are seeing that some of the vegetables aren't cooking down. You can also add a little bit of water. We'll give them a nice sizzle. Other fridge things out while we wait. Notice your rice isn't quite cooking down anymore. You can always add a little bit more water or a little bit more broth there as well. Let's see, let me just spoon for the salsa. still have some of that seasoning left. So we'll sprinkle more on. If you don't happen to have those seasonings available, you can just use a taco seasoning. They even sell a fajita seasoning, like a fajita kit if you're interested. So these veggies are really cooking down well. You can see that this is what you're going to want them to look like. So they're getting that blackened char to them. That is what you want with fajita veggies. Almost done. I should not have left this laying here. It's super hot. So speaking of that being super hot, cast iron pan, the handle's going to get extremely hot. Even just holding my hand here, the thing is burning. Don't mistakenly grab it. They do make covers for your handles. I just don't have one, but now that I say it, I probably should. It'd be a good idea for me. Hang on 1 second. So the fajitas are ready. I'm just going to turn that off. Fill my shells. Myself a side of rice. Oh, and don't forget the guac, right? So, and there you have it. Fajitas with guac and black beans and rice. Have a great day.